I was thinking of putting this in Triton's playlist, but he's not actually in the video. It's just kind of about him or things around him. He's off having a nap. He's so tired this morning. It's so funny when he's like trying to keep his eyes open but can't. But no, what it's about is like Pet Circle, why I still really love them. I've said it before. But they've done something nice again for us. It's this mug. It's like a Halloween Finnish Lapland mug. I know, my bloody camera doesn't want to focus on it. Yeah, so, Finnish Lapland, black and white. He's more of a black and tan, and he's got floppy ears, but that's definitely a Finnish Lapland. And then you can see there's a little Batty there, and there's Pumpkin, and you're wearing like a sort of wizardy, witchy hat. Oh my gosh, that's adorable. How I got this, so, if you remember back at Halloween, I took Triton out to see the main street near me where all the kids go with all their costumes and all the decorations, and it was super crowded. And Triton's still a puppy, so definitely want to get that socialization in, get him used to seeing kids running around wearing insane costumes. And he did really well. But as part of that, I brought along these treats that I got from Pet Circle that were pumpkin shaped. I think they just did it for Halloween, although they're still on the website, so it'd be cool if they keep around, because he really liked them. Yeah, they look like little pumpkins. They're pumpkin and chicken flavored, and I had some with me to give to the kids as we were passing by, and just like occasionally give one to them to give to him, because obviously I don't want them giving him lollies. But yeah, and so then he would get used to accepting pumpkin treats from crazy kids in crazy costumes, and it went really well. He really enjoyed it. And then I had heaps left over, so I was using him, like if I opened the packet, he would know it's time to go into the crate and just go straight in, which he also does when he's tired. He'll just go straight in, but he really loved these pumpkin treats. I need to get him some more. But because he loved them so much, I thought I want Pet Circle to keep making these treats, so I went and left a review and sort of giving that basic story of how I used them at Halloween and how much he loved them. And I think I might have read that like you can win something if you do reviews, as a lot of these websites will do that. But yeah, for me it was more just about encouraging them to keep making these treats. And then I got this random email saying, "Hey, we really loved your review and blah blah blah. We're gonna send you something, keep an eye out for it. We hope this makes your day." And I had no idea what they were gonna send, except that it was coming from an external company, so it wasn't Pet Products. And I'm like, okay, could be interesting. And yeah, sure enough, this mug turned up. It's and I reckon it's a custom job. I mean, the black dog on a black, almost black background, like it's a very dark purpley. Could have used a bit more contrast, but I think it's a custom job. And like, I don't know if they designed it or they got someone to design it or what, but there is no way that in Australia some company just has these mugs, these obscure mugs of a Finnish Lapland in Halloween gear. Like, there's no way that's just sitting on a shelf. This is a custom job. I don't even know if they've done any like this for Finnish Lapland, and they made it on theme, even based on my review that he loves this pumpkin treat. Like, that's really thoughtful. My goodness. Just like, and so Pet Circle, okay, they sent me a free mug, but they don't pay me to say this. I just think that they're a really good company. Like, they actually care. Now, of course, I know corporate policy could be like, you have to care, but it's hard to fake something with that level of detail. Like, they could have just been like, oh, we just sent a mug with a dog on it. No, it's not just a mug with a dog, it's a mug with the dog of my breed, and the little pumpkin and the whole Halloween thing. Like, that level of detail, you have to care a little bit for real to be able to go into that kind of thing. And like, just not even sending me a generic Pet Circle mug or anything. That is a custom job. And yeah, like, anytime I chat with them, it's always they're always very cheerful. They ask about your pets, and yeah, they just try and be really nice. And, sometimes you do think, oh, they're just saying that because they've been told to. But no, like, that is next level. They don't have to do this. I left that review just because I really like the product and I want it to stick around. They didn't have to do this for me. So it's really sweet. And, you know, as I've said, they've done it before. If you guys remember, I made a video about it when Marley passed away and Hope was kind of struggling. And, you know, I happened to just be talking to them about some support issue. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was about some of the food that Hope was on. I don't know. But yeah, during that, they happened to ask again that question. Oh, so, you know, how's your dog going? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, actually, he's struggling because, you know, his mate passed away a couple months ago. And they were like, oh, so sorry to hear that. And then they sent us, they're like, oh, we're going to send him some interactive toys. And they sent this snuffle mat and some treats. And that snuffle mat and the kangaroo treats in particular became like Hope's favorite thing. He was actually kind of unhinged waiting for it. He was so, like, he's so emotional when I would get out the bag of kangaroo treats and start breaking them up to put in that snuffle mat, and he'd be like, I really want it, oh my god. He did well with the self-control, but it was really hard for him to just sit there and wait for me to be like, okay, now you can go and snuffle. And yeah, he was obsessed. He really loved that. And, you know, for the last year of his life, he had that, you know, oh, I'm gonna get emotional again. But yeah, like, they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to ask about him, and they didn't have to, you know, listen to my sob story about my dog being sad that the other dog's gone. But they send that stuff completely for free, without any expectations, without knowing that I'm a YouTuber or the kind of chronically online nutcase who's going to rant and rave about them. They just did that. It's really sweet. Now, like, all they know about me is I've been a customer. I actually went through my records. I think I've been a customer for like 8 years, which is a long time. I have spent a lot of money with them. I don't know if they take that into account. And, you know, then they only know, like, I put on his profile that he's a Finnish Lapphund, so that's how they know. I think they've seen, like, one photo of him, because they also do this thing where they do pet portraits, and, like, I didn't specifically send in the photo for that. It's just, like, every now and then they're like, oh, we'd love to see photos of your pets, and so I just sent one of me and Triton, and they sent back this pet portrait, like, a while later. They must have saved that photo, and then, but yeah, the pet portrait, like, it was a digital one. And the trouble is, like, I've done enough Photoshop that I know that that one was just a Photoshop filter. And the thing is, the way the filter works looks amazing on pet fur, but not so much on my face. And so I don't think they checked that one before they sent it out, because it actually looked horrific on me. But, like, it's a cute thought. They're trying to do these extra things. That one, though, doesn't really cost them anything, because they just run it through Photoshop and there you go, send it off. But, like, this is a custom job. Like, even that design, like, no one is going to sit around and think, oh, we should make a Finnish Lapphund at Halloween design on the off chance that someone with a Finnish Lapphund is going to leave a review on a Halloween treat. They are not just sitting around on that design. They have sat down and been like, let's put this together. Like, they might have the basic dog sort of design, but even Finnish Lapphund in Australia is such an obscure thing. I don't know. I don't know how they made it. I'm just, like, impressed. Oh my gosh, even like some of it's really tiny, but that little one has a tiny bat inside the orange sparkle, and there's like moons and stars and stuff. That is impressive. Anyway, I wanted to show you that so that I can go and like wash it and actually start using it. Sometimes I feel bad about using custom mugs because I don't want them, like, you know, over time a lot of them can fade, although I have some that haven't. But anyway, no, I just think Pet Circle, really good company. And let me contrast you with another company that I have had bad experiences with, because, like, yeah, I mean, so just to continue on Pet Circle, you know, they're not the cheapest, but if you do find it cheaper elsewhere, they will price match, and I think they actually even beat the price a lot of the time. I don't know, it's been a while since I bothered with that. But yeah, then they make it really easy. You know, they just have to make sure that the other place is doing free shipping, or what is the shipping cost, and factor that in. But yeah, they make it really easy. You send them the link, they go and check, and they give you, I think, a better price. So that's not really an issue. There are a few things they don't stock, so I don't get everything from them. And also, like, I do try and buy things direct from the manufacturer, depending on what it was. So, like, Clear Dog, Pet Circle doesn't sell Clear Dog. And yeah, I buy with them direct a lot of the more natural treats for Triton. And then also there's Plush Puppy, the OMG spray that I used for Triton's grooming. I think I buy from them direct. But like I got a bulk pack, so I don't need to buy. I have the one where you can dilute it yourself because I do use a lot because I brush him so often. Yeah, Pet Circle doesn't have that, and that is the particular spray that was recommended by the breeder. And I think the Clear Dog and Plush Puppy, I think they might both be Australian companies, so good to support them. But yeah, for all the basic stuff, I do tend to buy from Pet Circle. And yeah, anytime anything goes wrong as well, they're really good with support. And also, they have a vet now. You can just randomly talk to a vet about issues. So I had some questions about some stuff to do with Triton because he's kind of an unusual breed and it was kind of an obscure question. And the vet actually went and looked up the research literature to try and help me figure out this issue. And I'm just like, they don't have to provide a vet to answer this kind of stuff. Now, of course, they're not like they do have good prices on a lot of stuff because I guess they can buy in bulk and whatever. But they're not the cheapest. Although a lot of those big companies, they all have the same kinds of prices. So you assume they're making a decent enough profit, and so they can afford to have a vet to answer all your questions. But like, they could just take the profit for themselves. They don't have to spend the money on this extra stuff, but they do. So yeah, that kind of impresses me. And like, I'm at a stage in my mental illness where I just don't have time for bullshit. So I really appreciate that they put that effort in. It's like the same reason that I shop at Mecca instead of Sephora, because Sephora's service was terrible. Whereas Mecca always treat me really nice. And even like, yeah, like I go in with my dog and they're very friendly to him even when I don't buy anything. They give heaps of advice, they make heaps of samples, returns are easy, and it's just like a nicer atmosphere and it's a bit more upmarket. And if that's part of my self-care, I want to feel good. I don't want to feel stressed trying to buy stuff, which is what Sephora did. And like kind of Sephora were kind of condescending and a bit gaslighty and just that corporate speak. So Mecca is like, friendly. They make you feel good. Like the experience is part of the package. You're not just paying for the product, you're paying for the experience. And I feel the same with Pet Circle. Like I want that nice experience. I mean, it's not how I got into that. It's just like having experienced it now. I'm like, why would I go anywhere else? Because let me contrast you to Petbarn, who have completely lost me on multiple fronts. Now, I mean, there are a few of these different pet stores that do have proper physical stores. The thing about Pet Circle is they're online only. So if you needed something in a real rush, going to a physical store is still really handy. And also early on, with Triton being quite young for socialization, I did take him to one of the local two different pet barns, so that he could like go and sniff around and be around people, maybe see a few other dogs. Good for socialization. And so, like, I hadn't actually been to Petbarn in a long while because after a while I was just buying from Pet Circle for Hope and Marley. Well, mostly Hope. I think Dave used to handle Marley because he was technically Dave's dog. But yeah, but with Triton and the whole socialization thing, wanting to get that right, I started going to Petbarn again. The trouble is, like, they're nothing compared to Pet Circle. The only thing they have going for them is the physical stores. And they did try. The thing is, so they gave me this puppy pack. I think I still have the bag, actually. They do these puppy packs, which clearly, when I first went in with Triton as a puppy, they did not give me the puppy bag. And it was actually, like, it wasn't until he was maybe 6 months that they were like, oh, hey, have you had a puppy bag yet? So no one asked me for ages, even though they had these things. The other thing is, when I finally did get one, they only had ones for small dogs and one's for large dogs, and Triton is a medium dog. And so the kibble and also the flea and tick treatment, they were sized for either small or large dogs, and just completely useless for Triton. I mean, the food is less of an issue because food is food, but I wanted to give him good food to get the right developmental stuff going on. And I know there's debate over raw and kibble, but like, that's kind of, one of the problems that came up is like I went back and asked about those things, and they didn't have the equivalent medium food. And that wouldn't have been too much of a problem because like I get what they try to do. They're trying to help out. Like it's free, so what am I complaining about? But the trouble is, when I was asking them about it, the manager of the store is one of those anti-kibble guys, and so he was telling me like, oh, they're all the same anyway, and they're not really good for the dogs and whatever. And I'm just like, why would you say that? You're working at a mainstream pet store and you don't believe in mainstream pet products? Like, kibble is a very mainstream thing. I'm aware of the debate, and never mind, someone else will have made videos about it. I'm so over the whole thing. I feed Triton a mix of things. So he's like, kibble is handy for training and so on. But I've got other things as well. It doesn't, his diet is complicated because I don't give him like set meals. I have my treat pouch all the time. And so, yeah, I do like training pretty much all day whenever I'm with him. I've got my training pouch, and then it'll be also like chew time. He has some chew treats, and then like some bedtime, some ones to go with his probiotics, but mostly I'm just training him all day. So he's not having proper set meals in the way that my dogs previously did. It's a kind of a weird situation. So never mind his actual diet. We've got air dry food as well, which is supposed to be better than kibble, and we've got actual raw food as well, so like he's getting everything. Anyway, no, the point is just like, okay, I understand there's debate about kibble, but you are the manager of a mainstream pet store selling this food and giving out these bags that are supposed to be introducing pet owners to these products, and you don't even believe in them. And he was very condescending about it as well. I get it. I look young, so I look like, people assume I'm an idiot because, I'm a young person. What could I possibly know? I'm like, no, I'm not quite middle-aged. I don't even know what I count. I don't count as a young person anymore. Young person is like up to 35, isn't it? It depends on, but Anyway, never mind. He was super condescending about it, and it's just like, that is not a nice experience. And he was trying to gaslight me. I'm like, oh, all the kibbles are the same. It's just like the shape of them. And I'm like, no, I've actually gone on the website, and you can see the ingredients are different. The balance is different. They are meant to be formulated for the different sizes of dog and the different rates of growth and all those kinds of things. Like, you can't just say there's zero difference. There's clearly difference. Now, whether or not you believe that it makes that much of a difference to the dog, stop bullshitting me. I've looked that up. The nutrients are slightly different. The ingredients are slightly different. Yes, the kibble shape is the most obvious thing, but what's in it is also different. And anyway, I was just like, wow, okay, I don't want to go to that store anymore. So I did stop taking Triton. I thought about taking him to a different one. But it was a further drive, and it took a while for Triton to get over his car sickness. I think he's okay now, but I still only take him on maybe 20 to 30-minute drives, depending on traffic. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that was the physical store issue, was just the manager being a dick. Like, the actual staff, they were fine. They were helpful. They were friendly. But this guy, I'm like, why are you working here if you hate these products? Go and work at an alternative pet holistic whatever kind of woo store. Go and sell your raw food or whatever it is you prefer. Like, come on. Anyway, so I thought, okay, I can avoid the physical store. Maybe it's just that manager. And so I started trying to order things online, and they have these really cool fish treats from Icelandic. It's just like when I ordered a bunch of them, they sent one that was literally half size, and I took a photo of it and sent it back, and they gave me a refund for it. But it's just like, when you're packing the boxes and you see all these ones that are this size and then one that's half size, do you still pack the half size one, or do you send it back to your manager and be like, hey, we've got a problem with this one, and then pack a proper one? Like, where's the attention to detail there? Are you kidding me? So that was like annoying. They did fix it. They gave us a refund, so I got half a thing for free. But I was like, okay. The real problem online though, came when later, So, I mean, I had been in contact with support because, I actually asked support about the puppy bags. I gave them some feedback saying, hey, if you're going to do these bags, you need to make sure that they ask what size of dog are you and make sure that they give you the right size of bag, because I've got a medium dog. You've given me small size stuff, that I can't actually use, particularly the flea treatment. And so I'd given them feedback about that. And, I think eventually I did mention the store manager, but also like that support thing, the email back and forwards, like they said, oh, you can totally just go back and exchange it. And so I went back to exchange it, but the person who had been emailing me from support, they didn't actually check to make sure that store had medium bags, and they don't. So then I went all the way back to the store and for nothing, and to just end up with that guy, the store manager, trying to lecture me and gaslight me about shit that is, his own misinformation. Yeah, so that had already been annoying, and I had mentioned those things. But the real problem is I ordered another thing. There were these little probiotics things that come in sachets, and it's supposed to be powder. But when I finally opened it, it arrived, and then I opened it, and, the powder in there, and I tried to open one, and it was all, like, completely solidified. It wasn't powder anymore. It was like these solid chunks, and like I couldn't even break them back into powder. They were really messed up. So I took photos, sent them back to support, and this is all email support. And they said, "Oh, sorry about that. We'll send you a new one." And I never got any email saying it was on the way, and then it just never arrived. And then I tried to send back an email saying, hey, this hasn't arrived, what's going on? And also at this point, if it's too hard, I'd just take a refund. And the emails just stopped. They stopped replying to my emails. And it was the same, like I think I still had an issue with something else. And they just stopped replying to me. Completely, like there was no thing saying this case is now closed. Because, I know sometimes if you leave it too long, your ticket will automatically get closed. There was nothing like that. I never got another reply from them. I'm like, okay. So I ended up having to go on their website to their little chat window. And the thing is, they clearly designed the chat window for mobile, because on desktop it wasn't operating properly. It had if the chat window is like that big, about that much was taken up by a graphic of a dog, and there was like this tiniest little thing for me to write in and to be able to see the conversation. And so I the person that came up on chat was actually good. They helped me out. They got me a refund for that product and hopefully passed on my feedback. Like, I never got the product that I was told. I never got like the new fixed up product. I never heard anything back again. And I also sent some feedback about the chat window being like so hard to use on desktop. Because I hate typing on a touch screen. It's so awkward on this tiny thing. I need a keyboard. And, can you imagine for accessibility? But never mind. That person was good, but it's just like, that was such a hassle for this product. And, Pet Circle never does that to me. That was all Petbarn, the physical store, Petbarn support, Petbarn online. I was just like, I can't. I'm, the mental illness, and then having to, Triton's a puppy, so he's a lot of work. I'm just like, I can't waste my time dealing with Petbarn. I just can't do it. So, they've lost me as a customer, basically, because of that. Whereas Pet Circle, they always give me a good experience, and then every now and then they go above and beyond to do something crazy and nice like this. Pet Circle have earned my loyalty. And they've earned me ranting on YouTube. They didn't set out to, but that's what's happened, because I'm actually impressed. Like, well done, Pet Circle. Making me feel better about life. And the thing about my mental illness is, like, it's a lot of disappointment in humanity. And so I'm trying to work through those issues. If I keep exposing myself to negative interpersonal experiences, like the Petbarn manager in the store and the Petbarn support and just the garbage products they sent me, that exacerbates my disdain for humanity. And I realize I cannot have that. I need to find positive interpersonal experiences to make me hate humanity less. And so that's why I need to go to places like Pet Circle, who treat me well and like Mecca who treat me well. Even if sometimes it costs extra, or maybe, certain products aren't stocked, or whatever the case, none of them are perfect. But they make an effort, and they actually make me feel less like I hate everything. And that's part of therapy for me, is realizing, instead of just going for like the cheapest or most convenient whatever, no, I need that little bit of extra experience. It's hard because my parents are finance people, and so I grew up being very stingy and always trying to save money and always trying to find the best deals. But I've realized that doesn't work for me psychologically. And it's hard to, it's probably a bit wrong for me to say this, given that, like, I am supported by my parents, and so I'm not struggling financially. But, I've got to stop having guilt about using what I have, because I didn't grow up with the emotional support. Instead, I've got financial support, so I have to make the most of it, right? So for me, money is ultimately just money. It's just stuff. It's just numbers in a bank account. And so I need to not be scared to spend a little bit extra to have a better experience of the world, because the alternative is I could just sit on a lot of money. I mean, I don't have a lot of money, but I could just sit on those numbers in my bank account and end up, offing myself. I could do that, or I could spend the money and maybe not feel so bad about life. And that's a hard thing to realize. But yeah, I think I need to not be scared to see those numbers go down. Like, I think I have a little bit of that financial anxiety. Even if, like, I'm at a point where I'm, like, I'm supported by my family. I do have a buffer, and I used to have that buffer mainly for Hope, if he had medical issues, because they would be expensive, and I didn't waste my time with insurance, and I still don't waste my time with insurance because I've heard lots of bad things about it. It's not like human health insurance. Pet health insurance, it goes up like exponentially as they get older, and trying to claim stuff sounds like such a pain, and I'm just like, I'm better off just saving it myself for an emergency. But yeah, no, apart from that, I need to not be scared to see the numbers go down a bit. I'm just, my parents have sort of made me a little bit obsessive about trying to save everything, and like, I even do it with physical items, trying to save things for later. So probably somewhere, buried somewhere, would be like old Pokemon lollies that I got from Japan, and I was saving them for later, and now they're probably well expired and I shouldn't eat them. I think I did do a video where I ate expired lollies. And then God knows, some of the makeup stuff that I bought last year, I don't know how long that lasts, but I should probably use it more before it all dies. I just need to stop constantly saving things for later, because things don't last. I mean, probably some of my art materials are going bad too, particularly some of the paints if I've already opened them. Yeah, I'm really bad at just, like, I have that sort of hoarding instinct. Anyway, so allowing myself to spend a bit of money to make life less shit is a lot better than, they talk about the idea of like the millionaire who goes and makes a lot of money and they're really stingy and horrible to everyone, but then they die and you can't take your money to the grave. Wouldn't you be better off spending it either on nice things or on doing things for other people, charity, whatever? I'm trying to get my head in that headspace. And yeah, Mecca, Pet Circle, these types of things, they do help, I think. And that's what I need to look for, is more positive experiences in the world instead of just trying to be stingy all the time. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, so I just wanted to go on a rant and rave about Pet Circle. Pet Circle is definitely better than Petbarn. Now, I know the other physical stores are around, but I think like there's maybe one that's close to... No, actually there's two. But they're in sort of like awkward places that I don't go to very often. So Pet Circle it is. I'm just really happy with them. Yeah. And so the other thing is, they don't know that I'm a kind of dark gothic type either. So they don't know how perfect it is to send me a Halloween themed thing. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Halloween generally, but I did it for my dog, and I do like the sort of spooky stuff. Not so much like the pumpkins are kind of weird, but that's kind of part of the story now. And so now this mug has a full-on story behind it. And yeah, being a gothic type, like, this is much better. Like, if they had sent me one for Christmas, that would have been cute, but it's not me. The Halloween is much closer, like, as far as anything they could possibly send me. They did such a good job with that. And I have shown some fellow Lappy owners, and they're actually quite jealous. I might be the only person around who has a mug with a Lappy on it, especially in Australia. Like, I'm sure in Finland they have them. But, yeah. Cute. Anyway, that's enough. That's half an hour of me raving about one company. They don't need to sponsor me. Yeah, so they don't sponsor me. But they do have a referral code program. So if you're in Australia, if you've never bought from them before, I'll chuck my code in the description or maybe the comments or something, and you can get like $10 off if you spend $50. And then I also get $10 off. So I don't earn anything, but I can get slightly cheap. I can buy him more pumpkin treats. Alright, that's all. See you later.